Morning everyone. How are you today? I'm happy to hear that. It's so great to see you again. Hafiz, please let us to pray before starting lesson. Have you breakfast today? That's good. Breakfast is very important to our body. Okay. Are you ready for the lesson today? Okay. Who is absent today? Good. Okay. As usual, those who actively study with me will have a secret reward at the end of the material letter. What is our material last week? Yes, Shifa, please. That's right. What is the addictive substance, Shifa? That's right. Okay. Did you do your homework? Yes. Great. Let's check it. Okay. Now we will continue learning today, which is about addictive substance. At today's meeting, we will discuss about addictive types of addiction and types of addictive substance. Okay. Now, what is addictive? Please, Indah. Yes, that's right, Indah. Addictive substances are substances that, if consumed, can cause dependence or want to use it continuously. When someone first starts to use drug, it is called substance abuse. We say someone is addictive to drug when they have no control over whether they want to use the drug or not. That person feel that they have to have that. But people can be addicted to a wide variety of things which are not usually labeled as drug. How many types of addiction? Miss Devi? What is? Okay, good, Devi. There are two types of addiction. Okay, the first is physical addiction. Physical addiction is when a person's body becomes dependent on some things. After a while, that person's body craves more and more of whatever it is. So they are able to feel okay. Trying to give up can make that person suffer withdrawal symptoms, which can last for quite a long time, but slowly get less as the body gets used to doing without. This withdrawal symptom can feel like a really bad dose of flu and this, and make a person feel so sick and depressed that they want to go back to whatever they were taking to feel okay again. It is hard to give up. Okay, and the second is type of addiction is psychological addiction. Psychological addiction is when someone craves something which will change their mood or feelings. They may not get physical withdrawal symptoms, but they may feel lonely, depressed, or anxious if they can get they think that they deserve. Okay, the next is how many types of addictive substance? Yes, Via. Are you sure? 3? What it is? That's right, Via. There are 3 types or addictive substance. The first is narcotic. Types of addictive substance. First is narcotics. Narcotics are dangerous substances that should not be used without a doctor's supervision. Narcotics are substances or drugs derived from plants that can cause a decrease of change in consciousness, eliminates or reduce pain, and cause dependence for its user. Narcotics can be grouped into 3 groups based on their potential to cause dependency. There is narcotics group 1, narcotic group 2, and narcotic group 3. Okay, the narcotic group 1, very dangerous because it has a very high potential to cause dependence. Narcotic is not used in medicine. For the example is heroin, putau, or cocaine. Next is narcotics group 2. Narcotic group 2 is high potential in causing dependence and can be used as a last resort in treatment. For the example is morphine, betadine, and methadone. And the next is narcotics group 3. Narcotic group 3 is potentially mild in causing dependence and widely used in medicine. For the example is codeine. The use of narcotic is very dangerous for health, so that abuse to narcotics can damage the future of the younger generation. Fight and stay away from substance related to narcotics. And types of addictive substance 2 is psychotropic substance. Psychotropic substance. Psychotropic substance is psychoactive substance or drug that can affect a person's mental and behavior. Psychotropic can be grouped into 4 groups based on their potential to cause dependence. Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, and Group 4. There are 4 groups psychotropic based on their potential to cause dependence. The first is psychotropic substance group 1. Group 1 psychotropics potentially very strong to cause dependence and not use a medicine. For the example is ecstasy. And the second is psychotropic group 2 or group 2 psychotropic drugs. It's potentially strong dependence and very limited use are drug. For the example is amphetamines, methamphetamines, penicillin, and Ritalin. And the third is group 3 psychotropic drugs is potentially being addictive and widely used as medicine. For the example is pentobarbital and unitrazepam. And the psychotropic class 4 is potentially mild in causing dependence and very widely used in medicine. For the example is diazepam, clobazam, phenobarbital, barbital, clorazepam, and nitrazepam. And the 3 is types of addictive substance. Number 3 is other psychoactive. Some example of psychoactive substance other than narcotics and psychotropic substance such as alcohol, nicotine, and caffeine. Alcohol, nicotine, and caffeine. The first other psychoactive substance is alcohol. The types of alcohol that is widely used is ethanol. This substance can be obtained naturally through glucose fermentation with yeast. If someone drink alcoholic drink, the alcohol content in the blood will be high, causing the person to get drunk and experience a decrease in consciousness. And the second is nicotine. Nicotine is found in tobacco leaf. The tobacco leaf are usually used as material for making cigarettes. As a result, people who smoke can be more resistant to sleepiness and more active. Okay, and the third is caffeine. Caffeine is a substance that is naturally present in coffee. Although caffeine is a psychoactive substance, there are no restrictions on its use. Coffee is generally consumed with the aims that it's not sleepy. Now I want to show a video about cigarettes. Please watching the video.
Cigarettes aren't good for us. That's hardly news. We've known about the dangers of smoking for decades. But how exactly do cigarettes harm us? Let's look at what happens as their ingredients make their way through our bodies and how we benefit physically when we finally give up smoking. With each inhalation, smoke brings its more than 5,000 chemical substances into contact with the body's tissues. From the start, tar, a black resinous material, begins to coat the teeth and gums, damaging tooth enamel and eventually causing decay. Over time, smoke also damages nerve endings in the nose, causing loss of smell. Inside the airways and lungs, smoke increases the likelihood of infections, as well as chronic diseases like bronchitis and emphysema. It does this by damaging the cilia, tiny hair-like structures whose job it is to keep the airways clean. It then fills the alveoli, tiny air sacs that enable the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide between the lungs and blood. A toxic gas called carbon monoxide crosses that membrane into the blood, binding to hemoglobin and displacing the oxygen it would usually have transported around the body. That's one of the reasons smoking can lead to oxygen deprivation and shortness of breath. Within about 10 seconds, the bloodstream carries a stimulant called nicotine to the brain, triggering the release of dopamine and other neurotransmitters, including endorphins, that create the pleasurable sensations which make smoking highly addictive. Nicotine and other chemicals from the cigarette simultaneously cause constriction of blood vessels and damage their delicate endothelial lining, restricting blood flow. These vascular effects lead to thickening of blood vessel walls and enhance blood platelet stickiness, increasing the likelihood that clots will form and trigger heart attacks and strokes. Many of the chemicals inside cigarettes can trigger dangerous mutations in the body's DNA that make cancers form. Additionally, ingredients like arsenic and nickel may disrupt the process of DNA repair, thus compromising the body's ability to fight many cancers. In fact, about 1 of every 3 cancer deaths in the United States is caused by smoking. And it's not just lung cancer. Smoking can cause cancer in multiple tissues and organs, as well as damaged eyesight and weakened bones. It makes it harder for women to get pregnant, and in men, it can cause erectile dysfunction. But for those who quit smoking, there's a huge positive upside with almost immediate and long-lasting physical benefits. Just 20 minutes after a smoker's final cigarette, their heart rate and blood pressure begin to return to normal. After 12 hours, carbon monoxide levels stabilize, increasing the blood's oxygen carrying capacity. A day after ceasing, heart attack risk begins to decrease as blood pressure and heart rates normalize. After 2 days, the nerve endings responsible for smell and taste start to recover. Lungs become healthier after about 1 month, with less coughing and shortness of breath. The delicate, hair-like cilia in the airways and lungs start recovering within weeks and are restored after 9 months, improving resistance to infection. By the 1-year anniversary of quitting, heart disease risk plummets to half as blood vessel function improves. 5 years in, the chance of a clot forming dramatically declines and the risk of stroke continues to reduce. After 10 years, the chances of developing fatal lung cancer go down by 50%, probably because the body's ability to repair DNA is once again restored. 15 years in, the likelihood of developing coronary heart disease is essentially the same as that of a non-smoker. There's no point pretending this is all easy to achieve. Quitting can lead to anxiety and depression resulting from nicotine withdrawal. But fortunately, such effects are usually temporary, and quitting is getting easier, thanks to a growing arsenal of tools. Nicotine replacement therapy through gum, skin patches, lozenges and sprays may help wean smokers off cigarettes. They work by stimulating nicotine receptors in the brain and thus preventing withdrawal symptoms without the addition of other harmful chemicals. Counseling and support groups, cognitive behavioral therapy, and moderate intensity exercise also help smokers stay cigarette-free. That's good news, since quitting puts you and your body on the path back to health. If you want to see more videos on building healthy habits, check out this playlist. And if you want to help support TED-Ed's non-profit mission, please consider making a small donation at patreon.com/TEDEd.
Okay, from the video that was played earlier, what can be concluded? Please, Indri. Any statement? Yeah, please, Ani. Thank you, Indri and Ani. What is message is contained in the video? Yeah, please, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. Whether everyone is familiar with today's materials. Okay, if you already understand what are the benefits of us studying addictive substance. Yes, lessons today. Yes, please, Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. What is the conclusion of our learning today? Yes, Edo, please. Okay, thank you, Edo. Okay, today's lesson ends here. Thank you to those who have been active and increase their activeness for those who are not yet active. Next week, We will discuss the effect of addictive substance and self-preventive effect from the danger of drugs. Please read the book at home and make a resume about the material next week. Until here first our learning today, thank you for your participation. Good luck going forward. If something goes wrong, I'm sorry. Goodbye. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.